Google said that Pixel's camera was ranked the best by DxOMark and it beats even the iPhone 7. It certainly has top-of-the-line specs with a f2.0 aperture, laser autofocus, dual LED flash and 1.55 micron pixels to collect more light. But is the camera really as good as Google claims it to be? To test this newest phone's newest camera, I decided to travel to one of the oldest and most colorful cities in the world. And this time, I didn't carry my DSLR. So it's gonna be Pixel all the way, folks. I'm Abhijit Mukherjee from Guiding Tech and let's get started. Friends, it's 6 AM in the morning at the Kedar Ghat in Varanasi. The sun has already risen, as you can see. This video as well as the audio is being shot from Google Pixel's back camera. I'm going to take a rowboat from here and explore the other ghats. I hope you can listen my voice. Video is where Google Pixel's camera truly shines, and the level of detail and colors in the video in daylight is excellent. The back camera can take videos in 4K at 30 frames per second, while the front camera will let you take up to 1080p HD videos. So this video is being taken from the front camera of Google Pixel. And this is the Munshi Ghat right behind me. It's a serene morning, beautiful. Coming to the image stabilization part, the software seems to do a good job as long as you keep the subject in the center. The final video might be slightly cropped from the sides, mainly the ones you shoot in 4K, because that's how this software seems to work. It tends to crop it to the stabilized center of the frame. Here's a video taken indoors. The pet parrot at my in-laws playing with my father-in-law. Video performance in indoor and low light conditions was alright, nothing spectacular. This is Varanasi's famous Ganga Aarti, a daily ritual that happens at the banks of river Ganga, or Ganges as you call it in English. Quite a spectacle, I must say, draws huge crowds. The Pixel at times added more light and sharpness to the video, but then, depending on the light around you, don't be surprised if you get a grainy video like this one. Here's a quick shot from the front camera of the Pixel in low light. Here's an example of a slow motion capture, 1080p taken in 120 frames per second. You can also shoot slow-mo in 240 frames per second, but that will be in 720p. Now let's come to photos and let's first talk about the camera UI. It's a simple, no-frills interface. A horizontal swipe lets you switch between the photo and the video mode. The options and settings can be accessed from the top left. Few things to choose from here. Now in the settings, you can choose the resolution for photos and videos for both the back and the front camera. The video stabilization mode should be on by default. I had it off for some reason. Here's the front camera and that's my wife shooting this on the iPhone. We were at the airport. Double tapping the power button will open the camera and a wrist flick will help you quickly switch between the front and back camera. Can come in quite handy at times. Here's an example of the lens blur effect. Not bad at all, I'd say. The camera is quite snappy, takes photos real fast. And so is the autofocus. Worked well even when I didn't have an object in the background. Now let's see how the night and low light shots turned out. Look at this beautiful macro shot of an earthen lamp closely and you can spot the tiniest of details on the surface of the lamp. Here's another one and I'm totally in love with this one. The famous Kulhar Chai at Varanasi's Assi Ghat. A great photo to demonstrate the depth of field capabilities of this camera. Look how well it has focused on the cup of chai while blurring the objects behind it. For instance, check this one shot with Pixel. Now here's the same photo taken with OnePlus 3. Both these photos were taken with the HDR mode in auto, and it's pretty clear that Pixel wins by a far margin here, isn't it? The image is brighter, shows more details, and looks better. Now here's one from the iPhone 6s. I know it's not a fair comparison, but you get the idea. Here's another great low light shot and I can tell you that the light here wasn't really great, but the camera seems to have compensated for it quite well. Now there's a bit of noise in the lower part of the photo where it was quite dark, but overall I couldn't complain. Check this one. If you zoom in, you could actually read the name inscribed on this building. So it's able to capture a lot of details even when there's no natural light around. Here's one taken from the front camera. Selfie buffs are gonna love the 8 megapixel front camera. It's not bad at all. Here's another one with my wife and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. Took this during the Ganga Aarti. If you ever visit Varanasi, don't miss this one. It's quite an experience. Now the camera is not perfect and I did come across lens flare in some of the pictures as you can see here. However, Google has promised to fix it in its updates and you might have already received the update that has probably fixed it. Overall, the Google Pixel camera in low light works brilliantly, and although I haven't had a chance to compare it with the iPhone 7 yet, but when it comes to some other phones like OnePlus 3 and iPhone 6s, the Pixel seems to have a much better low light camera. Now, a camera that can capture great low light photos is also likely to do well in natural light. And these days, you can't go wrong with any flagship's camera in daylight. I think all the major phones come with cameras that work real smooth in daylight, and Pixel is no exception. The color contrast, the white balance, clarity, everything is pretty spot on. Now, if you have tried the cameras of iPhones and of Samsung phones, then you should be able to quickly tell the saturation level in Pixel's photos. Most Samsung phone cameras tend to add more saturation to its photos, while the cameras in iPhone are known to produce photos that are closer to the original color and light. And those pictures generally need a bit of work in terms of the contrast and color before sharing on, say, Facebook or Instagram. Now, Pixel's camera falls somewhere in the middle, producing photos with near perfect color accuracy and saturation. And that's why you would love using it in daylight as well. You might need to turn off the auto HDR sometimes though, but usually keeping it turned on produces better pictures. So all in all, this is an excellent camera, folks, something that comes pretty close to Google's claims of the best phone camera out there. Now these are my 10 favorite photos of Varanasi trip, captured on Google Pixel of course, and I'd love to know which one you liked the most. So do comment, and also don't forget to subscribe to Guiding Tech and give this video a thumbs up. This is Abhijit signing off. Until next time, fellas.